Hey everyone, it's Sassy Gal, and I wanted to come on and chat with you today. And I'm going to share something that happened via phone call really today. And it's just another reminder to all of us to be vigilant when it comes to these spam phone callers, the scammers, the phishing, the quishing, if you've heard of that, QR stuff. But anyway, it's specifically for phone calls. Now, normally on my iPhone, when I get calls that come in, there's usually some kind of a identifier on there. And today it said potential spam. Usually I don't answer those. I let them go right on by. But today I felt a little sassy, and so I answered it. When I answered, the person said, "Hello, is this Sassy Gal?" Of course, they used my real name, but "Hello, is this Sassy Gal?" And I said, "Who is this?" And I have been very diligent in this area when someone calls and says, "Hi, is this Sassy Gal?" to not say yes, because that is a scam in and of itself where someone can record your voice saying yes and can use that to verify certain things. So I don't say that. So I said, "Who is this?" Then the person introduced themselves as my bank. He said, "I am with your credit union. And we wanted to verify some charges on your card that are from the fraud department." Already I'm on alert because I've gotten phone calls from our fraud department at our credit union. They don't do this. I know who they are. It pays to have a relationship with your bank. Anyhow, um, so I said, "Really? So what kind of charges?" Then this person said, "Well, we wanted to verify there was a charge of 600 and some odd dollars from immigration something something." And I was like, What?" I said, "Can you repeat that?" And they said it again. And I said, "Wow, immigration?" And they said, "Yeah, we wanted to go ahead and verify your card." Which my bank has never done that either. My bank knows my number. And they will ask me all kinds of verifying questions that are my security questions that I put in place. And so they started to verify the number, and it was kind of scary because they had the first 8 numbers of my credit card. And I was like, "Oh my gosh," and then they stopped. And then I said, "Well, can you verify the rest of that for me?" And he said, "No, I need to verify it's you." And I said, "Yeah, no." And I hung up. So I went ahead and called our credit union. And when I got on the line with them, um, they were very happy that I called, because they want to know about every single one of these instances and what we experienced so they could send it to their fraud department. Apparently, the number that this person called me on was actually one of their local numbers in St. Louis. And I said, "Oh," so it did look like a business number. There are certain businesses that have like 7,700 in as their business line, usually have something that has a couple zeros in it or something. They said, "Yep, they hacked one of their numbers that was a local number." And then I proceeded to tell them everything that happened in the conversation. She did praise me for, one, not giving any information, two, not even identifying my name or verifying my name. She said that this has been going on, and they have had people get all the way to the part where they would want your login credentials, which again, I think all of my watchers know, my followers here on YouTube. I think all y'all know that we don't give out any of our login credentials. Our banks will never ask for our login credentials or passwords. And what was a good tip that I didn't actually think about, but the bank told me, if you get a call from someone that says, "We're from the fraud department from your credit union," then she said, "Hang up with them, call on the number, call them back on the number that we have on our back of our credit card, and then call them directly and say, 'Hey, I got a call from the fraud department and I want to verify.'" It was unsettling to me because this person had my bank name, they had my name, and they had the first 8 numbers of my credit card. Now, the other thing with our credit union is that all of my family, we have debit cards, and the first 8 numbers for all of us are the same. But the second set of 8 numbers are all completely different, and we have different expiration dates and different security codes. Plus we all have different login information and stuff. It was unsettling, and I let her know that. And but she said, is, you know, if we didn't get any information, then that's okay. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe I get another credit card, you know, from the credit union if they go around and they renew and they issue new numbers to everyone, but I don't know. So yeah, so anyway, that is something that I wanted to share with you. And also, you know, just to be aware, first things first is just don't verify, you know, when someone says, "Hey, is this Joe Smith?" and you say, "Yes," that is something that they can use against you, but because you're identifying yourself as that, and they can use your voice to do that. And then also just a reminder, our banks and anything that is secure, they will never ask for our password or login credentials like that. Another thing is social security numbers. I have been hearing a lot lately to not enter in the last 4 digits of your social security number. When you do the last 4 numbers of your social, that's entered into the system. And then if someone can peg where you were born, if they know that information, they can get the first 3 numbers, because on your social security card, those first 3 numbers identify where you were born, you know, any town in USA, and that has a 3-digit number on that. So then the only other 2 numbers they have to figure out are the middle 2, and how easy will that be? Years and years ago, they would ask us for our social numbers when we went to the dentist or we went to the doctor and we were filling out those health forms. And now our insurance policies, well, they really don't need it. They have a member ID, they have a policy number. And then if they want any other identification, then I give them my driver's license number. Because in order for me to get my driver's license, I would have had to have given, you know, my birth record and a social number and that kind of thing to get my driver's license or passport. So that's what I do for that. Another thing I wanted to let you all know about was a video that I have posted on my what are gonna do? My history, my YouTube page. There was a video I did a little while ago about getting a fake, or getting a moissanite ring. It looks like a very pretty diamond ring. And it was sent to me, and it was all this information in there about the Gem Society and this, that, and the other thing. And they wanted you to scan the QR code to register your ring. Well, one, I didn't order it. I don't know why it would have been sent to me. I didn't ask for it. I didn't get any free gifts. And then just the very fact that they want you to either go onto the website or scan a QR code to enter in more information. What I have also learned now is the QR code phishing. They call it quishing. And it's scanning the QR code. Once you do that with your phone, oh, look at my phone disappears. Woo! Once you do that with your phone, they have your information because they've had access to your phone because you've scanned that. So they have access to some of your information. And some of these QR code things are just kind of like scanners at the gas pump or something, you know, where they get your credit card information and then they can access all your different accounts. So so there's that, the QR code, but also that whole thing is just nothing but a scam, and an elaborate scam to get information. You know, when I made that video, I thought I was going to get maybe a couple hundred views on it, but it has now reached almost 9,000 views. It's 8.8 thousand views. And I have had all kinds of people from all over the world. I mean, I've had people from London, I've had people, you know, all over the United States say that they got the same thing. They got the same thing. And someone in my comments was saying, well, you know, maybe it was just sent to the wrong person. No, you mean sent to the wrong person to, you know, thousands of people across the United States? I don't think so. And it turns out that so many people have reported it. When I went to that site to report what was going on, people are all saying the same thing. I didn't order this. I didn't ask for this. That means someone has my address, which is very possible. I do online ordering. And so someone just probably picked up my address, my email, something could have been, you know, sold. And look, I used to run a business way many years ago. And one of the things they offered were some of those new move-in packets, people that move into your area that are new move-ins. You would get some information. Sometimes you would even get a list of addresses that are in your area. That was one of the ways that you would do like mailings. And instead of cold calls, I call them cold mailings. And that was one way to get your information. Like if you had a flyer or a sale going on, that they have your address and they could just mail it. And it says, all the stuff you would get in the mail that says, to our friends at blah, blah, blah at address, or, our local neighbors, da, 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 it's those things. They get it sent to your address. It's not necessarily your name. Back when we had phone books, I used to be able to do addresses. I would pick out women's names and I would send them a flyer or an invitation to an open house. And they'd be like, how'd you get my name? And I said, I went to the phone book. And they didn't like that. So that's what I want to say is that some stuff is just out of control, out of our control. Like we have public records that we live here in, and we there's an address where I live is on record, and people can just go send a flyer and a mailer to you, and thank you for using the postal service. I was trying to think of if there were some other ones. Oh, the other ones where you get a text. I've seen them from UPS and I've seen them from United States Postal Service, where the text would say, from UPS, package undeliverable. Please click this link to verify your information. Nope. If you have a problem, if you think there's a problem, you can call UPS about your package, but I don't even know if they would really be able to find your package. But that's why we do tracking. Why I like the Postal Service is that I can track my package that's going, all over the United States. And that doesn't cost anything. The tracking's there. It's just part of what they do. And so the USPS will never do that either. They will never ask you for your to verify your information because, a package, is undeliverable or whatever. If it's undeliverable, then that's something that's on the other end or whatever. They're not going to call you and ask for you to provide information. So those are just some things that just I want to make you aware of. One thing you can do is if you're going to be signing up for something, you're going to be signing up for a subscription thing, go ahead and make a burner email, then look into those. So you could do that, but if not, just be careful, just have a junk email that you can sign up and let all of those notifications or ads and all that kind of stuff go to just an email you set up just for junk. And with Gmail, you can set up multiple accounts. So that's one thing I like about it. And I could just, set up one account and use that for all the junk stuff. Something else for online shopping, you could use a prepaid credit card, like a Visa card, and have some money on it, like $100, and use that to go shopping and enter that in. So they don't actually have your credit card number. They have they have a Visa card number, but it's not your personal Visa. It's a burner Visa, if you will. And so that's something else you might want to consider doing when you do some online shopping. Check what's going in and out of your account. Like, be diligent about that, because there are sneaky little things that can get in there. One of them is how can I say this? It is a campaign donating service. Is that correct? It's something where you would, if you gave money to this organization, then they would disperse it, for campaign funds and stuff like that. And there is a investigation going into this group where this company has made charges to people's accounts well after the one-time donation. They kept the number and they kept making donations in their name for the rest of the year, through years and years. And it's so small, it will go unnoticed. It's like $10 here. Maybe it's $20 here. And when you're going through your account, and especially if you have a busy account, like my husband and I do, sometimes those 10s and 20s go unnoticed. So once in a while, you might see a bigger one, which when these people were interviewed, they did say, yeah, I remember giving, like $100, but it was only like one time. Okay, we can verify that. And that doesn't sound too bad. But what was happening is that there was all these other charges of like $10, $15, $25. And so when it was in a period of like 6 years, there was one lady that they interviewed, and her amount that she gave was like upwards of $200,000 in this span of 6 years. And when I divided that total by 6 years, that was $33,000 a year. And she lives in senior living place, which costs a lot of money to live there. Do you think that she could use that extra $33,000? Yeah, she could. And yet she was not even concerned. She goes, well, I guess I'm getting by without it, so I'll just let them keep doing it. So apparently she was okay with fraud, and she was okay with having them take money from her because she was she was happily like, okay, I'm going to give to this organization, and they're frauding her, they're stealing from her, and yet she was okay with it. But that's not the point of this video. The point is to be diligent and be aware of your finances. I know it can be a pain. You might need to have some help. Maybe you need to ask your bank for some help. But I mean, I've gone through and printed out 3 years worth of um, statements from credit cards from well, we have one credit card to make sure, just to see what has been charged and if we can verify all of that. And the checking account, because we have debit cards, and so there's two of us using the account for things, like groceries and bills and stuff like that. We want to make sure that we're constantly checking, saying, yes, is this right, is this right, is this right? So and you should be doing that. I don't know if daily is too much, but doing it like, definitely once a week, or for us, a couple times a week we would need to, because we have an active account with a family of 5. But anyway, I'm very thankful for the bank that we have. We have a very good relationship with them. I think it's been 30 years that I have been a client, customer, I don't know, at this bank. It's a credit union, so I really love credit unions, and we have a personal relationship with the people that are there. They really do a good job with fraud protection and detection, if you will. Always be checking your credit reports. You can go to creditkarma.com, or I forget the other one. But that's free. Get an account, and you can keep checking your accounts and making sure that no one is entering or opening, I should say, accounts in your name. That's something else you want to be aware of. Search for yourself online every once in a while. See what happens when you search for your name and what shows up. It's funny because I do this periodically, and every time the very first thing that shows up, it says my name, and I am either a congresswoman, like in a local, not like the Congress up on Capitol Hill, but like a local congresswoman, like a, what do you call them, representative, or I have an obituary. So it's just interesting. I know it's not me, obviously, but it's interesting to see what the internet has on me, because, via public record. And but because you buy a house, or you move, you get married, certain places where you've applied for a job or things like that, the internet will pick up. Being diligent with our information is so needed, because in this age of everyone wanting to steal our identities and numbers and things getting sold, and AI coming onto the scene, and our phones, and woo, look at that. What? Okay. So anyway, but yeah, y'all stay sassy out there. Keep it classy, and let's not find yourself on the wrong end of a scammer call. Take care, y'all.